human protocol.
Hey everyone, and welcome to The Human Way, our podcast where we talk about grants that we have awarded from the Human Protocol. My name is Andreas Schemm. I'm Ecosystem and Operations Director at Human, and I'm very happy that Jay is joining me today because Jay was actually one of the first people to apply to our grants program with Ramblist, and we are very happy to announce that this is also the first project who got approved for a grant. As a quick introduction to Ramblist, and I'm sure Jay can talk about it better than me, but it is a place for the world to share the stories and inform humanity, which we obviously love. With the advancement of AI, Ramblist is building a newsroom that is global, open, and editable. And here at Human Protocol, we love the idea of decentralized, community-driven projects in general, and are very excited to see how Ramblist can change how we collaborate on news. So welcome to The Human Way, Jay. You've been in the news space for quite some time. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So, hi, everyone. My name's Jay Zalowitz. I actually, weirdly enough, got started in the kind of news space while I was still in college. I ended up working for an anchor, by the name of Cody Willard. Who was, and this was back when Fox Business was first starting, one of their anchors, and they had a show. I forget actually what it was called, but it was based in the Bull and Bear bar of the Waldorf Astoria. Which was really, really interesting and involves one of those almost movie-esque scenes where I ran from 1211 Avenue of the Americas all the way over to the Waldorf Astoria, which if you pull it up on a map isn't short, in like a full suit and really nice dress shoes, cleared halfway across Manhattan in minutes because they didn't realize that somebody had just dropped out of a presidential race. And I get there and I tell them that and then immediately collapse in a bar, which was totally acceptable in this context. I did some interesting stuff, had other internships, and then when I graduated, I went over to the Financial Times, which, if those of you haven't heard of it, it's that one pink newspaper. It's actually salmon. They will get angry at you if you don't call it salmon. And it's well known in the financial world. And I was the product manager for growth. More recently, a thing I've done that you might have heard of is I was one of the co-founders of something called Hacker Noon, which I don't have the most up-to-date figures on it, but safe to say millions and millions of engineering and nerdy focused readers, and I'm very, very proud of that. And
so.
Yeah, thanks. And now, yeah, we're doing Ramblist, which is one of those ideas where you come up with it and you can't get it out of your head, and you have to get it into existence. It's like the overriding feeling that we needed a world news source, a place that you can go and have reliable content that isn't as driven by financial profit. I mean, don't get me wrong, that money's great. I'm a huge fan of it. You can use it in exchange for goods and services. But no one's done anything to really reinvent a newsroom functionally since, I would guess, Alexander Hamilton in the New York Post. So in a similar vein, I guess we're not going to throw away our shot here. So, like, one of the things we are really proud of is we have a couple really deep AI models. In addition to just GPT-3 to help you write, we have bias detection. We have even things like socioeconomic. We let you know, like, if, for lack of a better way of saying it, you're writing a bougie as hell post, we're going to let you know. I mean, the life and struggles of those of us who get upgraded to first class a lot because we fly too much. Yeah, that's not a normal person thing. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
If you were trying to write that article, cool.
Yeah.
But, and I would read it.
You'll highlight
But,
it.
anything to
Yeah.
get on a lie flat bet. But like, that's kind of the thing. You should be informed of things as you write. You should be informed, and this is a later feature for us, but one of the almost comedic things we want to try to include is not exactly unlike Microsoft Clippy. Like it looks like you're trying to write about a police shooting. Here's how to do that.
Interesting. So that is more the AI factor, right?
Yeah.
But how does blockchain contribute to the whole system of Ramblist?
Yeah. So first and foremost, we believe wholeheartedly. We did it a little less Web3 focused to start. We did this crazy thing where we wanted to build a product and see if people want to use it.
Outrageous.
I know it's weird.
Unheard of, basically.
$100 million in crypto, but no, we wanted to make sure before we did all that we'd actually be able to go. I mean, we now have hundreds of users who have created accounts. We have a fair deal of readership. We're already on Google and Apple News. We actually back channeled how to figure out how to get into those things. If anyone wants to know, please ping me. I'm at Jay Zalowitz everywhere. But what we did was very, very much focused on trying to make sure we wrote a white paper in 2017 for it. Well, I did, but and we tried to build a system that would be a Web 2 version of the way that white paper works. And what we're doing now, now that we're ready to launch, is very heavily blockchain oriented. Not necessarily the news. We will, by the way, if you would like to write about your blockchain products, please visit ramblist.com. So we're doing some really interesting things. Every article functions like a smart contract. So the revenue around that, and mind you, we're intentionally pre-revenue at the moment. But the revenue around that is going to get subdivided, partially to the writer, partially to the editors. Multiple have to say yes. And we're doing some interesting things about making sure people's biases as editors. So like multiple editors are going to have to be in there, but we're not going to tell everyone exactly how we're doing it, because one of the things about building an anti-spam and abuse system is the more transparent it is, the more hackable it is. Which is why I do actually agree with the fact that Signal hasn't open sourced that. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And actually I have an anti-spam and abuse history from Google, where I help with that, and actually help with it in Google Plus, which I don't know if I should admit to having worked on. But digressing,
it's out there now.
Yeah. So
quick question
we're allowing we function like a smart contract where that happens. Some of it obviously goes back to us. Some of it goes to fact checkers and other systems that help. And then we're doing something what I think is actually somewhat novel is as we go into our revenue stage, we're actually going to allow foundations to sponsor tipping to our writers. So there'll be a tip button, and let's say, and since I'm on the human podcast, I will just use human. Let's say human wanted to get awareness of HMT out there, they would be able to give us a number of human, and that would be divided among the tips, and it would go to those writers for the most part, with obviously a little bit of that set aside for us as we build a very distributed treasury, I guess, in terms of the tokens we have, and hopefully HODL, I guess, but sell some of them to pay for expenses.
Question
yeah,
on this.
we're also and I guess the purposes of the grant here. One of the things we're going to be doing to get and I will toss it back to you. I'm very long-winded. I apologize, but one of the things we're going to be doing is actually requesting people to write articles based on news that's happening in the world via human, and having that contract fulfilled. And our system, we're already ready to start requesting. Have article tracking against that, and I'm really excited for that because I feel like using human to grow your company is a really great idea if it needs actual human input and human
That's what we're here for.
verification in that set. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's actually great because you covered a couple of questions I would have had, like what's the benefit of this? How does blockchain contribute? Why did you choose human? And you all weaved it in together, so I can tick off all the boxes, which is amazing. But if you could go into this, like you'll be using human protocol for basically requesting of articles, for the settlement, and the reputation oracle for assigning like trustworthiness scores and stuff like that. So for us, it's like you are using AI in a very specific way, and we're using AI. So we're two projects that are interested in the AI or machine learning space. Yet this grant is not about AI. It's literally about like our projects working together to request and to basically remunerate and to settle. So in the future, like we're working on textual analysis. Do you think that's a place to collaborate even more afterwards for textual AI analysis, for example?
When it comes down to the second part, well, yeah, we're it's kind of slightly buried in our terms of service, and we got to get a little bit better at that. But we're actually saving every single draft. Every single save you do is a historical record for us. Every single comment and edit done from the editor side, every everything that happens on our site is built and a data model built to be fed into models as we get a larger corpus of data. So yeah, we will probably be hand in hand with you guys on these are red flags for people who are being abusive, and these are better content. And as we are able to determine what kind of things get more traffic, we will be able to feed that back into reputational scores and all the rest of that stuff.
While we're on the topic of multiple editors and multiple contributors, could you explain what the benefits of crowdsourcing are and if there are any concerns?
So yeah, I forget the actual data point here, but have you ever heard of something called a news desert?
I have not. No, please explain.
So news deserts are functionally places where no news is being produced. So an example of this is a lot of small towns that don't have a tiny biweekly paper or something like that. Even larger cities nowadays, a lot of the content in the newspapers that you get, like in Chattanooga or something. I'm not picking on Chattanooga intentionally. I just talked to somebody from there. The what's really interesting is a lot of their news just comes off of a wire service. It's like not really local. No one's being paid to sit in town hall meetings anymore. Clark Kent can't find a job. It's pretty bad out there. But if you don't think of the ability to create news as a full-time job, and don't get me wrong, this platform also supports people that want to do it full time. But if you're just a soccer mom in Montana, or uh, my entire team outside of myself is Ukrainian, and one of the things we did during the start of the war is started to really support internationalization well. So like all of the articles get automatically translated over to English after publication, and we detect where you're coming from out of your browser, and if we should serve you the English version, we serve you the English version. But helping somebody in a war zone become so good at writing so efficiently that they are able to accurately report on, for example, Russian tank movements, which has happened. Although we intentionally that was a source of conflict, but like the ability to have anyone be able to write news help solve some of this news desert problem. But anyway, but the ability to post on stuff like that, and validate the pictures, and these are valid and fine articles, but you're never going to get coverage of that. One of the biggest problems I have with a lot of the startup coverage, for example, nowadays, is none of the publications want to write about you unless you give them an exclusive, which is crazy. And this applies at unicorn round level. They won't write about a $1 billion valuation funding event anymore unless you get an exclusive. Do you know how stupid that is?
I don't know. We have noticed it. So yeah, I would agree that some changes needed, and we're very interested to see what's coming up with Ramblist. Actually, what's coming up for Ramblist? What's the next step? What's the timeline looking like? What can we look forward to?
Yeah. So our by the time this podcast ends up online, we will be publicly launched.
Excellent.
Obviously, we're working further and further on our human integration, because that gets us new writers, and that helps us with growth, and we happen to like growth. It turns out growth fixes all problems. But that was a reference to something for if any of you are listening. So we're focusing on that. We are building out some more of our AI tools. We are really, really, really focused on user satisfaction for the next little bit. Better daily emails, better. We have location dependent news and sourcing on that one, so we're going to be flushing some of that out, and really for the most part, we just want that experience to be absolutely top notch. And we actually have a longer term plan. We have our white paper already, and we want to make sure this is a full Web3 product eventually. But we do feel it is a perfectly adequate thing to do. And I know this will shock people like Andreas and Horowitz, but you can build a Web2 version first.
That's me. I need to stop the podcast now.
They'll never invest in us. No, I'm kidding. I actually like that group. Yeah, they're just easy to pick on. And one of the things we're making sure we're going out of our way to do is solve what I think one of the fundamental mistakes that a lot of crypto teams do is that they'll launch a bad Web3 product, and once it's on the blockchain, it gets really, really hard to mutate. It's doable, but it's not it's not as conductive for changing as just a really quick ship deploy, whatever. I don't care.
Blockchain is immutable. Yes, one of the benefits of it, but also
it's very nice, and also in the news context, incredibly important.
Yes, true. No, but I hear
you. The underlying actual setup does matter, and we're gonna find out a lot of those problems, especially as we gain more traction. I mean, we're doing well right now. We had I think 2 months of over 75% growth, but it's still important to get right.
If you want to add to the growth, go to ramblist.com right now and read.
Yeah, ramblist.com.
That's the place to go, folks.
Hello and welcome to Ramblist.
Well, Jay, thank you so much for coming onto This Human Way. It was a pleasure speaking with you. We're looking forward so much to what you have in store. And to close it off, is there one question that you really wish that I would have asked you? And if I had asked it, what would you have said?
Oh man, this is it's a hard one. I always like this question because you put the person interviewing on their feed, and then they're like, "Crap, I wasn't in that mode." I mean, I guess the important one is why now. It is a perfect application of crypto, but the AI side of it has really been the thing that has progressed in the last 2 years that make this really devastatingly good. You know, AI is getting to freakishly similar, so much so to the point that a random Googler thought, "Yeah, this AI is sentient," which
yes, I've seen that.
I'm all for like AI Bill of Rights or something like that, but just because you tossed 1 million cores at it doesn't mean it's sentient, dude. It's just really overpowered. One of the things that one of the characters points out there is essentially their version in the movie of Google, is effectively the best basis for AI that people are going to be able to have. It's just a matter of structuring it right and like flowing code and a bunch of other neat and interesting products built into that. But we are so good at text processing, text linking classification, analysis now compared to even when I wrote the white paper. It's just so devastatingly better, and we haven't had any real attempts at anything close to disrupting news. Like the best thing I would say the crypto community came out with that was even remotely close was Steam It, and they basically ended up being Reddit. No one's really done blockchain based news right, in my opinion, and my opinion might be wrong, but one of the things I am sure of is no one's done a good heavily AI, heavily assisted news product. One of the pieces of research they did, and one of the reasons you don't really see the fair and balanced thing as much anymore, that you don't see the competing viewpoint on Fox News, is they found out their viewers don't want that. I guess we should use the Silicon Valley meme. The conjoined triangles of success there will be the AI and blockchain melding that actually hasn't been tried before. So I mean, I guess that's the why now. Also, the other part of the why now is we need it. there is a good thing we can do for the planet. Will we be a very big company? Hopefully, but if we fail and only end up in the tens or hundreds of millions of dollars, fail being a relative word there, but if we only end up in that range, oh, that sucks. You help fixed rhetoric across the planet. Like, people are making better informed decisions and humanity advances.
Well, I don't think we can end on a bigger point than more multiple worlds and helping humanity. So thanks for tuning in to The Human Way, everyone. And thank you to Jay for coming on and talking about Ramblist. That is, you can check it out again at ramblist.com. We'll release more episodes with our grantee soon. And if you want to check it out, looking forward to seeing you in the next episode as well. And if you want to chat with us or apply to the grants program yourself, join our ever-growing community in Discord. And otherwise, thanks again, Jay, and have a good day, everyone.
Yep. And I will say, you guys are absolutely amazing, and you have been a wonderful foundation and team to work with. So I just wanted to encourage people, please do, if you think you have something that fits the human way, I guess. That was a podcast plug, right? If you have something that fits the human way, apply.
Human protocol.